I mean, the things may be important to him, but not that important at the end for the final. He's holding on to things that shouldn't be held on to. That's what I'm saying. So normally I wouldn't tell anybody that about their wives, right? But him, is my son, I could tell him that. But I don't know why he hit the point. No, let him alone. He has his kid is hurt. I can't help him to be okay. Poor Shlomo. Yeah, Shlomo, you're next.
How I feel is that all the problems of myself, and all the problems of the Chabur, and all the problems of the Yeshiva is myself. Because if I really would sit and learn,
the world would change.
If I was sit and learn like it has to be, I could change all the Chabur, and I could change all the
Be'ez Hashem, Be'ez Hashem.
I could change all the Chabur.
You sound like me when I was young. I could change the world. Okay, Shlomo. These are old guys already. They're married, they have loads of kids. They're discouraged in life about who they are and what they are. They're looking for an environment to pull them up rather than themselves. And what can you do? Yeah.
This is one thing about the emphasis.
The emphasis, Shlomo, you have a lot of koiches, and I hope you'll sit and learn and pull up not the cheder, but pull up these old guys to revitalize the dead bones, and revitalize the dead, and they're to be alive again, vibrant and young again. Okay.
But the Yeshiva and
Yeshiva,
we have a problem relating to the world.
Yeah. Right, recognizing.
And somehow we don't know the system of the world. We're lacking the system of this idea. We're lacking. I can give you a little piece. We're lacking. We don't know how to relate to the world, and there is a system in the world. How come you were not invited to the Dekel HaTorah party when they invited all the days?
That's right.
You should have been there.
Right.
How come you're not there?
Right.
Something's wrong with us, not with them.
Right.
With us wrong. And somehow we're not doing the things right. And I believe in order to, how do you become the Gadol? But you recognize, what's a Gadol? That you recognize by the people. Not only by us, but by Amcha. So you have to do certain pu'ulas in order, and I feel, and if you will be recognized,
you can do much more.
You can do much more. Influence is 10 times more.
I agree. And you get easy money.
Right, but even not, even the Torah is heard more.
I don't have to go to the States, you're right. I do what I do. I agree.
Then I feel different. Now about the Chabura, about myself, there's nothing here for you to do.
About the Chabura,
Go to the house and get some coke.
About the Chabura.
But the Chabura, it could be maybe I should be more involved in
and saying go over and get involved. Yes, I definitely.
How do you call it? Every week. When we get together. Why I don't do it? It's work. I'm lazy. I don't like to do the work. Why not? It's easy for me to teach and not to get involved.
Well, Hashem, you're teaching and getting involved that way.
And because at the end, to get involved in a piece, it takes a lot of work.
A lot of energy.
It's a lot of. It's a big tumult. Yeah. All mixed up, and to get to the end point,
it's hard.
It takes
I'll tell you what I've done in the Chabur a little bit. I try to ask the question and to get the ends. I didn't get involved in all the little details. Why did I do that, Avram, though? So maybe I should get involved in details of the piece of it. Because the final end is, like you said, I got to get... The first way to teach is first to get your kash and your teretz clear. then all the things, and the in-betweens are very hard, but you get it. And if the guy knows how to learn well, which we haven't tested out everybody here, in the in-between, for the in-out, each of the reading of each word, that really requires a lamdan. The question and answer, you got to get first. That's the first stage, which I did. To get the kasha and the teretz. And then the rest fill in, and then, because that you can chop, but to get each little piece, you saw yourself, every little word, it brings the rush, and you have to be the lamdan to know what the heck he's referring to there. And it's not so simple. It's not easy to get away with. It's easy to say in general, but if I would pin down, I don't know if the guys can produce as well to myself. And it is true, I accept this criticism, though, but I disagree, though. Had he produced a lot, I'll tell you what would have happened, Avram. I'm talking, David. If I would have produced, if you would have worked and produced, I'll tell you what would have happened. Maybe the first time, it would be that the guys are not with you, but the second time, I would step half the night preparing the piece. But because it's the kasha teretz and what it is, it's okay, so I also do a little bit. Had the guys produced more and worked more, we work more. Maybe, sometimes you can't because of the life situation, but the truth of the matter is the guys really produce. I would produce and the guys produce. That's how I work, and that's how the thing works. And, but anyway, that's not here nor there. But anyway, I accept what you said. I hope to see you in the Chabura. Okay. Shlomo, you spoke already?
So I heard it.
What?
I thought this.
No. I got a call now on Zahavi.
I think that what you said basically means true.
What?
You said about me basically means true.
So how are you going to implement that, Zahavi? I have great hopes for you, Zahavi.
Not now yet, but I have the same dream also.
I feel if you would communicate with me a little bit more.
What?
Communicate with me a little more.
Clear bottles.
And share something. I try to come a little closer.
Clear bottles on the
You know what I
top
mean?
shelf next to the door.
Are you saying that from lately or you're saying that from 20 years?
Lately and 20 years.
There's a big difference.
Lately. And also, I think that as you communicate a little more with me, you'll gain more. I don't know what's in your head. And I'm a shy person by nature. I'm really very shy and very sensitive. People don't know that, but I'm very shy and very sensitive. And I shy away from a lot of things. And you have to also come to me and talk to me. I gotta know where you're holding, what you want, and what's your idea. It's chaval that I must say to you, that even in chavrushiship, okay, you started with the guy you have. I try to fight you to get rid of him and all. Not because of the guy. I felt that, I understand why you need the man, but I feel you can grow 20 times more with other people. I don't know if you can't really, and I feel you have so much that you could give in my wide wavelengths of thinking, and the growth that could be given, and you can hook up with other people in the couple. You have David, and you have Chaim, you have other wavelengths of that type of line. You listening? That dynamo of energy can come, and you got to pull in dear friends Gershon. And you've been surprised. We have a lot of energy. I'm talking about productive thinking, new aspect. I thought that you would be the guy that helped out with producing Sefer and Derech Tlumis, or putting it into the world. What happened was Avram Dov put some examples into the world. He never did anything with them. Avram Dov worked hard for getting that into the world. Expected much more from you, and I somehow never got it. A lot of reasons, myself included. There's a lot there. I'm talking about for Klaius. I'm not talking about. I see as a Ram shortchanged, and I see as a. I don't see you as the Gadol b'Torah and Gadol b'Yisrael. I do see in another hour. But I do see in creativity of thinking and growth. And then I believe if that's what you would do, I believe then at that point you jump to something else in the learning of Torah. And I don't know I shy away, let's say, from getting involved with you, and it comes out strange, and I don't know what's happening. I just like to make a statement here, I mean, for everybody, from the Chabur here, I mean, nobody wants to come out here, but I think Yishuv Meitzad, if God gives me the strength, is a little dream for me, in one sense. The dream is that which I wanted the Chabur, including myself, to sit and learn for years, and just sit and learn for years. The 3 Siddharim, and bring people in and to learn Torah, to raise the class, and then go in Marbit's Torah Barabba. Maybe between a little bit something, but but not to be stale. But that was I shortchanged the whole Chabur in that way. I never had the money. Maybe I could have had. You could have said anything you wanted to say, but it didn't materialize that way. And I held on to a lot of guys, hoping one day that should happen. The reality is today, to support a guy with 12 kids or 8 kids is I don't know what Kolo can support it. You know what I mean? I don't know who could. But so Hashem has other ways to learn and become a Talmud Chacham. You know what I mean? I would ask you maybe you think of an alternative to come to Yeshiva. About your kids, I'm not thinking that way. I feel that my real humble opinion is that I can't answer about Beis Yaakov, but I can say other yeshivas. The kids can get into yeshivas. And look at the people think not so, and don't think not so. But I don't believe so.
You work hard, you get into the yeshiva.
With Nisim.
I do believe. I don't feel that's a real. I believe if I can increase the amount of people in my settlement here, I'm talking. If I can increase the amount of people in my settlement, double my amount that I have of Talmidei Chachamim, etc. All these problems would fall out that I worry about in a small community. But that remains to be seen. I hope it will happen, and it will grow that way. That I do believe. And if I could see that, I have to picture in my eyes. I know myself where I'm looking at, and my wife looking at what I'm doing. I hope it will happen. I open the doors for that for you. I have no strings attached. I involve him, Dov. I love him. He's my son. He's been. He told me he had 19 years in Yeshiva. I don't know. And I only wish him the best. And I felt bad only one thing, and that is he.
I asked Eitzah from the Rabbi Mordechai, and I said
that's
I
Yisrael.
Said in Yisrael. I said I was going to come back at 2:30. He says try 2:15. That's looking hard. No. I didn't think I was going on the word.
Okay. I'm good. Try again. It's okay. I can't. I have to do what I gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do, and I do what I gotta do.
You want to see our Atzaga? You don't really want to see it, or you want to see it without that?
Oh, that's loaded dice. Loaded blackmail. Whoa!
I didn't mean it like that. 2:30.
Israel had one before.
Oh, we're ready. You ready?
But you see, you brought a guy with you who has something in his right hand that's very valuable to me.
Now
Now that already changes my view. Green. What's green? Dollars. Green dollar. I can't see. I gotta get my glasses.
Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Diplomas, dollars, right.
No, you like
Okay, so okay, diplomas are dollars. Diplomas are dollars. Yeah.
Makes you sick.
Anyway, guys, let's go. Come on, I gotta. We basically have 3 more people to speak, 3 people to speak, and then I have to sum up, and then we'll see what happens there. So we're talking about you, Zahavi. What about the Charusa? Who would you like to learn with? What?
I have no idea.
So give an idea. You have none? Let's dream. Can't dream? Give me another glass of whiskey. What? Yeah. What? 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 Will you talk to me personally? I don't know.
No, it's nothing to do with that. You asked me, I'm answering honestly. You asked me straight, I answered it.
Out of all these guys here, you can't...
You don't have to tell you. The first word he told us when we got to the Yeshiva was, Achavrushik is a marriage.
That's right.
That's it. Really,
But
by a long shot.
But I want to tell you a little story, though. When my daughter was getting divorced, so they came to me and they said nastily, at the time, my son's not so bad for a Zivik Sheni. They're wishing me, the worst and the worst. And Zivik Sheni, as Avram Dov will find, is not simple. Zivik Rishon is one thing, Zivik Sheni is another world. The Rishons already are finished. We're now in Zivik Sheni's. Not simple. And the marriage of Zivik Sheni is not the same marriage of Zivik Rishon. It's embarrassing. Okay. Let's go to the next one, David Sackton. I only have here, I wrote down he's a gadol, he could become a gadol b'Torah. You have to remove your kas, you have to get more happiness, old Torah, and...
How come not gadol b'Israel?
I don't feel he has that ability. It's a hard job. He's growing. I think he's relating to people. In a business way, he's handling that. He helps the klal. Now he's pulling his feet. I don't blame him that. But still he shouldn't lose the klal. But a gadol b'Torah could be. Gadol b'Yisrael. Don't feel bad. How are you gadol b'Torah? Don't take it smallly, I talk very. Aram Dov feels he can do everything. Okay, but my words are very careful. I wrote it down. I thought about it. I hope I'm wrong, but assume I'm right and go forward. I talked about Zahavi. I didn't talk about that. I talked about he would cheat himself if he didn't produce what he didn't say that. Gadol b'Torah is a different box.
The first thing I'd like to say is I love everybody here. I care about everybody here. I care very much about the couple. And I think that even that what the Rabbi has set for me is an ambitious goal. I feel like for myself, I have a hard job to be a retired Ish Tzibur and to become again an Ish Tzibur is a harder job, and I hope I'll do it.
You've helped me out tremendously, David. I want to tell you, without you and giving up your time, I would be a wreck. You know that. and you took an all upon yourself to help me out. I'm not saying you get a schus for that. There's no shadow.
I feel
feel
already I saw the paros.
But you
I feel
gave,
like
you
it helps
gave,
it helps myself.
and also that another thing, you had a schus to get into Meishav. Just think of it's not only Shlomo, it's been a shamayim of the helping the tzibur.
And also my son, my son got in also as schus of the tzibur. You said in his bar mitzvah Rebbe that we would see nisim for him. That was on the schus tzibur. And Shlomo knows that he went to Yeshiva not prepared. He went to a good place where they're really helping him to grow. And he's a different kid than he was 6 months ago. And I feel that's the schus tzibur. So I really I don't want to give up the position of being an ish tzibur.
But you have to put more time.
But I got to get back to it.
But I feel you figured out ways and means of.
I'm a little more relaxed than I used to be, but
you can handle money better, David. When you came to me, you didn't handle money.
That was a game that the Rabbi helped me with. And anyway, the main thing I want to say is I love everybody here, Danny, and
thank you very much.
You Yisrael, all my chaverim, Yedidim, Krovim, Shechenim, Yishuv Neitzan. I feel like we'll make the Chabura happen. I'm waiting for you, Yisrael, to join the Chabura. And just in terms of the local Chabur of the Nachlas David, the Chabur I feel closer to a lot of guys, but the Chabur of the Nachlas David, the Avram Dov, I definitely have tikkunim that I can do myself if I'll gain him back to be a Chabur, I hope I will. That's basically what I want to say.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll end with a song.
Not yet. We got two more guys. I got to finish off. I must finish off. And not because I got 20 other things to do. I have to yet sell my house. I have to finish off. I have 20 more things to go.
Has to go.
No. I got these guys waiting there.
One of us is Mashiach.
You'll have to continue yourselves. I just have to move on. I have to leave on Sunday. I'm working overtime. Not that. I want to call on David. I mean, what do you call it? Daniel. Had a lot of patience here, Daniel. And a lot of love. I would like to see you grow. And I'm happy that you were instrumental, which I felt good about, caring about the club. I want you to be part of it. Not only in Paris, Israel, which I gave you quite a lot of independence, a lot of freedom and growth. And you saw the Paris, God gave you a bracha with your daughter. Your son will get a bracha too also soon. We'll see. But get a bracha. And I kept you on a long time. Gave you that cover. At the times I wanted to pull you off of the signing of the checks.
Hashem, Danny signs the checks.
That's not. I'm talking about it. A lot of things and a lot of patience in the learning and everything. But my aspirations, and I feel you have to do. But you must also be part of us. That means coming and preparing and doing the work. You can also learn. You care about the cloud. You're sensitive about and I do feel that you represent my shittas in the world, and I feel good about it. Those ups and downs and fighting me and ins and outs, everybody knows here. But at the end, I hope, well, unless you got that's true, then we'll go for Torah Yisrael last. But I give enough space. Check the books, I let it alone, I give the freedom. But in the truth, I want you to grow. And I don't want you to lose the chabur, and I don't want you to just, float on. I'd like you to come to the Yeshiva, if you will or not, that's up to you. I don't know if you're able to be running the Torah Yisrael, but that I'd like you to think about. You're not a pioneer, you told me that. You get older, I agree to that, but I don't know how to handle it myself, what it should be. But But anyway, good job.
Really what I want to say is
You're supposed to be it.
I feel bad a little bit that I'm really not part of the Chabura. I personally pulled myself out of it at a certain point, and it really came from a bad place, not from a good place. I felt when I needed the help of the Chabura, nobody was there to help me. Matter of fact, people criticized the function of the yeshiva. I mean, to say another project of the yeshiva means another failure, another monies, and why should we put, and a little bit like what Rabbi Dov said a little bit, why put energy into something if it's not going to get there? At least put the energy in to get it over with. That was the reaction I kept on getting. I pressed, and I asked, and I begged many people in the Chabura to help me, not because of the program, but for me personally, to get involved with me. I never got the proper response. Even when I was refused, I personally felt it came from a very negative and non-defining position. Meaning to say, it's like, don't get into my kishka, enough is enough, I told you no, so don't push me. You know, it's like, I didn't feel the yachas of the Chabura, I didn't feel the
nosebol chaver,
or the sensitivity that if it fit into my script and I can help, I'll help. But if I didn't, you don't fit into my system, so I have no time for you. That was really how I felt. That's one of the reasons why I emotionally and physically dropped out of the Chabura. I stopped going to Shiur. I made a statement consciously about it once to the Rosh Yeshiva and the Chabura. I wanted nothing to do with it. As far as I was concerned, I didn't exist anymore. A lot of it has to do also, not just so much of me, but I feel everybody has a different definition of Chabura, I guess, in this room here. My definition of Chabura was Oisek Bo L'Chavero. That meant in all levels. It didn't mean just in the learning when we spend an hour together and that's the learning and it ends right there and then everybody goes in their 20 different directions and everything's fine. At least we sat together for an hour. I had a different concept of Chabura. To me, a Chabura meant I need help in learning. I have a lot of difficulties in learning. And I recognize my difficulties. I'm not embarrassed of them. And I do want to grow in learning. And I didn't feel I am getting the moral support, or physicals. I don't know really what the right word is, but I didn't get what I needed from the Chabura. So I have to find it in other ways. So I started looking outside the Chabura. Torah Yisrael was an avenue. I started learning with some guys in Torah Yisrael a little more, and this a little more. But I really feel part of the Chabura in a certain place. I feel bad that the Rosh Yeshiva is pushing me Fridays to come, and this to come, and that to come. So my real answer to Rosh Yeshiva was, why should I come? It's not a Chabura, it's just me. If you just want me, so I'll come. But if it's a question of Chabura, so I'm not the answer. The answer is there are other people, and if it's not functioning, so I don't want to get involved again in a personal thing with the Rabbi. He wants me, he doesn't want. If it's Chabura, so I'm ready to work on Chabura. If it's personal, so okay, I'm not ready for that now. I don't need that right now. I don't need the love and the respect from the Rabbi. I feel I have the relationships. I don't feel neglected, and I don't need the one-on-one right now from the Rabbi to come and show that, I'm lacking love, I'm lacking attention. What I need is Chabura. I need friends that I've been with for 20 years who can help me with my little problems. And it's not Teresa, it's me and my learning, and I need a lot of help. And I just don't feel, and everybody has a good excuse, I'm not denying the people, but I don't feel, after being together for so many years, I'm sure if a stranger came by and asked the same thing, most of the guys would have responded to the stranger a lot quicker than they responded to me. That's what I really believe. And that's what hurts more than anything else. The response was like, it was more lip service in a nice way, but it wasn't, I didn't feel the heart. I'm a person that goes with the gut. I go with my feelings. And I never felt inside the sincerity of the feeling. It was more like, push you off, okay, I don't want to get involved. But again, it comes from definition of Chabura. I think everybody here has a different understanding of what the Rosh Yeshiva is asking, which is permitted. Each one thinks differently, but as far as my thinking and my feelings, I feel I got the short end of a stick in the Chabura. Torah Yisrael was not and is not a substitute for the Chabura, but it gave me at least life. It gave me some kind of function. And the attitude I get is like really, I really look at it on the Rebbe that most people feel, and Yisrael really said it, which was a very interesting point. He said, we ourselves, and I'll say this the way I feel, I'm not speaking for anybody, the Chabura does not believe that we will succeed in anything we do. It's a negativity we have. I use the Rosh Yeshiva's terms, we have no confidence in the Rosh Yeshiva. The only time we have confidence is when we're behind the eight ball. We need somebody to talk to, so he'll be there to help us, and we'll take us. But when things are good, the Rebbe's not there for us. We don't bother to ask him a shayla. We don't bother to get in touch with him. We don't bother to, even you have bad things, we tell him. Good things, we like the Yeshiva doesn't exist to us. And this, I feel, is a real problem. And part of the tikkun, I felt, even for today, my suggestion was to express the real feelings and try to make that tikkun openly and honestly. Now, my definition of a chabur, or whatever it is, it's more like Zahavi said. When you get a chabrusa, it's a marriage. I wanted to answer Zahavi, but also sometimes a person has to get married, even though he gets older and he has to have children. So even at that point, he has to get married. It's not like, well, you wait. At a certain point where you get to a certain age, you got to do the mice also. So you got to do that also.
Otherwise, your neighbor butthole.
So sometimes it doesn't always work out the way we want it to work out, but and again, it's our system that's set up to where we are today anyway. So to have an eitzah, I don't have an eitzah. I feel Rosh Yeshiva gave the eitzah a little bit. It's an union of a tikkun. And one eitzah I want to suggest, if you have a little more confidence in your Rebbe, I think that a lot more things, I think we're trying to second guess the Rebbe in a lot of positions of the yeshiva, which are really not in our domain. And we're getting involved in things that don't bother us. And we got to get involved in our chabura, which is the main thing, and that should be the ikka. If you're learning, if the chaburas are going, and this Torah being produced. Forget about how the yeshivas run and this and run. That's really not in our ballgame. That's a good excuse for why we're not functioning, but that's not really the essence. The essence is the chabura, and it can't be because there's no electricity, so I'm not going to the chabura. There's no electricity, I'm not learning, or the Rebbe's never going to pay the bills, so I can't function. We're a little older, we're mature guys today. We have a lot of koyach. I think that the basic identity is having confidence in the Rebbe, and that he means for our good, and that's really what it is. I hope that's a tikkun in itself, just having the confidence.